So actually going into it, I thought, this is group therapy. I don't need this. I kind of thought in the back of my mind, I kind of knew in the back of my mind what it might be, but I wasn't really willing to admit it because I knew that I had issues to deal with, but I didn't think they were related to work actually. And then I got there and I got through the first one. I say got through, but I actually, enjoyed the first one. I went home and I said to my wife, so it wasn't a course, which I was kind of going into it with the attitude that it was a course. It was group therapy. And her reaction was, well, thank Christ, because she knew I needed it for a long time.
So BOSS was developed for public safety members who we understand experience higher exposure to traumatic events through their operational roles. And what it's intended to do is provide both education as well as an experience of being in a mental health facilitated group-based program where they're going to learn and experience some things differently about how to protect their mental health when they're doing their operational work.
For me, I had a cluster of calls and events in my life that were just way too close together, and it just overwhelmed all my compensation, all my tools, and it started to manifest itself.
Sometimes it can be as simple as going to a medical emergency that triggers something in you that you didn't know that it would bother you. The public may not see that these things start to pile up over time. And they do, and it can affect everything at home. It can affect your job and your health, obviously.
When you bring a group of public safety folks together and you start talking about operational stress, this amazing thing happens, which is they kind of look around the room at each other and go, you know what I'm talking about, I'm not alone, I'm not the only one struggling with this. And so inherently we think that's reducing shame, right? It's allowing them to normalize the experiences that they have as not being a personal deficit or a weakness, but something that is shared by the people doing the work.
I realized that I wasn't the only one experiencing the things I was experiencing.
It was hard to imagine talking about your issues with them, but it became quite easy.
A group can be a very, very positive and very powerful mechanism of change, but a group not run well actually can do some harm, right? So we want to make sure that we have skilled, experienced mental health professionals running the BOSS groups so that they're managing the information that's being received, but they're also managing the dynamics of the group so that the group stays a safe, validating place for all of its members.
In one of the sessions, I talked about a traumatic experience that I had, and in talking about it, I was experiencing everything I should have felt when it happened, but I couldn't because I wouldn't have been able to do my job if I did, but I never did allow myself to feel what I should have been feeling. I never allowed myself to acknowledge what had happened.
The day that you choose to be a first responder, nobody really knows how we're going to handle seeing something traumatic. You don't really know when you choose to be a first responder. I believe that this program gives you the tools to be able to handle that.
With this program and being able to understand that the way I felt and the way my brain was acting was normal, and being able to acknowledge that and then find ways to deal with that and understand that, I got my confidence back, and I think I'm an even better officer now than I was previous to this program.